Hello, sweet friends. This is Gina. Welcome to the TheReBookery channel. Today I'm going to do a journal spread in my little journal, and I just want to document some things that have been happening this summer. I don't have a planner right now, which is kind of odd. I usually have some sort of a planner. So I've really kind of just been keeping track of memories by just kind of trying to remember them and then taking pictures, on my phone. And that's not how I normally do. I usually have some sort of a planner or something where I write down, just the kind of daily things that we do. And I'm just not doing it this summer. And so I feel like I'm kind of behind, and there's a couple of things I want to document. So I'm going to put just a spread in my little journal, and it's not going to be anything too difficult. It's not going to be anything really in depth. It's just going to be a short little page to document, a couple of things that have happened basically just in the last couple of weeks. Nothing major, no birthdays or anything like that. This is just pretty mundane stuff. So one of the things I want to document is there was a really cool full moon the other night. And if you've watched my videos before, I'm obsessed with the moon. And so my husband and I went out and looked at the moon, and it was just so awesome. And I've said this before, but my photography skills are not the best. So the way that I document the moon is I like to recreate it with some sort of collage or artwork in my journals. And so I have a whole bunch. I have a whole series of moon documentations throughout my journals. So anyway, for this moon, it was kind of cool because the sky was like this bluish purple, and then the moon was a yellowy orange, and then there were rows of clouds that were behind the moon. I know it was actually in front of the moon, but it looked like they were behind the moon. It was just, I don't know, it was kind of cool. So I want to document that. So I'm going to use some fabric because I'm really into fabric right now. And my thinking for this journal spread was I'm going to call it Presently. I was reading, thumbing through a, what was it? Peter Cottontail book the other day, and they used the words presently. So that was going to kind of be my title for this journal spread is Presently. So presently, the moon was full, and I wanted to document it, and I want to put in a bunch of things that have been going on here presently in my life. One of the things is just fabric. I am just obsessed with fabric and fabric journals and fabric quilts and fabric scraps and fabric at thrift stores. So I want to use fabric in my spread here. So I just grabbed some fabric scraps, and I took them over to my machine, and I just kind of messily stitched them to some pattern tissue. And I thought that the rows that I kind of stitched them in represented the clouds that I saw, that night we were looking at the moon. And then I just took an old sheet. It has some yellow roses on it, and I cut it into a circle, stitched it onto some of that pattern tissue, and then that became my moon. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down on this right-hand side, and I'm just using some Elmer's glue and kind of spreading it around with a paintbrush and just layering the fabric and the tissue on top of it. And then I decide I'm going to carry it over into the left-hand side too. And I think what I'm going to do is take that strip, and I'm going to put my title over that strip, and then I'll stitch the letters down because my letters don't stick very well. They're kind of old, and so I'm going to take them over to my machine and stitch them. So I'm just rummaging through my box of letters and finding ones. I have very few complete sheets of letters, so I'm always mixing and matching, which I'm a-okay with. So I'm going to take the fabric, I'm going to put some tissue over top of it, just hold it in place with the glue stick. I find that when I use a glue stick to hold fabric in place, it works really well. I just need it to be held in place for a couple of minutes until I get it over to my machine. I like using the glue stick because it doesn't gum up my needle as much as if I were to use definitely would not use my tape runner, or use, like liquid glue. That would gum up my needle really badly. So took it over, I stitched it, and now I'm just going to put it onto this pretty paper that I have on the left-hand side. And if you heard my husband yelling in the background, we are obsessed right now with the World Cup. And so he just hollered at me and told me that Spain and Russia are going into overtime. So I may have to stop on this video and go up and watch overtime. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to my photos. So the photos that I have, I printed out from I was at a clearance store. It's called Cargo Largo is the one that we have that's close to us, but it's just got a bunch of closeout stuff. So anyway, in these little packages, they were by HP, and they're called social media snapshots, and you're supposed to download the app, and then it had these little papers, these little 4x5 papers, and you can run them through your printer, and it'll print out these photos that are sticky on the back. So I have used the app, but I don't know, I'm not really, the app doesn't do anything that cool. And I'd rather have that whole space, with my photo rather than like Instagram posts and things like that. So I just use the paper and I just run it through my regular printer and print out, whatever photos I want. And then the cool thing is, one, these were on closeout, so they were really, really cheap, and they're sticky on the back. So I like that, and then I don't have to use any adhesive. So I printed these off. They're not the best quality photos. They, were just ones I'd taken around the house and stuff. And so down at the bottom on the right, I had a picture of some donuts. And I cut out the donuts and decided that I was going to have them be the border at the bottom of the page. And then I just split the photo and put a smaller photo in between them. And then over on the left-hand side, I wanted to document a couple of things that were going on with my garden. And so I put 4 of them on one of those little sheets. And then I just stuck it down and then went over it with one of my black China markers and kind of made 2 of those photos pop out. And then I wanted to put some label stickers on here for my journaling because there's a lot of busyness going on. So I just grabbed some label stickers, put those down, and what I'm going to do is just be very, it's going to be like a list. I'm going to be very just listy with my journaling. And so it's going to say, presently the garden is growing, the donuts are lemon, and the moon is full. And I'm just going to use whatever pens or markers I happen to have lying around. I'm not going to get real fussy with color coordinating and all that good stuff because I'm really just trying to document what's been happening, and I don't need to get real fussy and too caught up in details. However, I will say that my paint bin that I'm using on the right-hand side doesn't work very well, so it's kind of blobby. So once I have some blobs, I decided to shake it and get some more blobs, and then I decided to just put some little dots around the moon to kind of represent the stars, and it just kind of brings the paint from that label and kind of brings it out into the rest of the page and kind of makes the page go together. So that's just a good little tip. Whatever you use, like if you're using paint or if you're using glitter or some sparkly glue or something, don't just use it in one place. Use it in one place in, a big amount, and then spread it around your page. So now I'm going to take some glitter glue that I have. I have a couple different types of glitter glue here, and I need to soften that moon because the moon was not that bright. It was more of a yellowy orange. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this copper colored glitter paint, and I'm just going to kind of smush it around the moon. And then again, I'm just going to go around and highlight different parts of the spread with the leftover that's on my brush. And so then I'm going to take some lighter. This is actually, it's a decoupage, Martha Stewart decoupage like a Mod Podge, and it's an opalescent with a green tint. And I've used it a couple of times before. It's kind of cool because it dries really hard and it just kind of lightens things up a bit. So I'm going to use that. And then I felt like I needed a little bit of some yellow because I was missing out on the yellow. I had a lot of orange, but I needed some yellow in my moon. So I'm going to go over and grab some neon yellow paint and just add a little swipe of that on the moon just to kind of give it some definition. And I apologize about the shadow, the sunlight and the shadow. It's cloudy here, and then all of a sudden when I started filming this video, the sun decided to peek out through the clouds. So I apologize for that shadow and that awkward sunshine. So now that I've got that painted, I'm going to add some stickers. I love, love, love adding stickers. And I know a lot of people think that I've had a lot of comments or people think that my spreads are too messy and too jumbled, and that's a-okay. That is perfectly fine. If you feel that it's messy and jumbled, that is totally okay for you to think that. I love it. To me, I am messy and jumbled, and my journal spreads are messy and jumbled, and that's what makes my journal spreads my journal spreads. And I don't like a lot of white space. I don't like a lot of minimalist. I've tried to do minimalist journaling before, and it's just not me. It's beautiful, but it's just not me. And so a lesson that I would like for you guys to think about when you're journaling is let your journal be you. Don't worry about what other people think. What might be beautiful to you may be totally disturbing to someone else, and that's a-okay. That is the whole point of art. It's all in the eye of the beholder. And if you love it and it makes you happy and it gets your point across, what does it matter what anyone else thinks? It is yours. This journal, this process, your creativity, it is all about fueling yourself, your soul, and getting your memories, getting your creativity, getting all of that good stuff that you've got harnessed in your brain, getting it out, and getting it represented, whether it's on paper or with fabric or some other type of medium of art. Maybe it's writing or drawing or painting. But getting it down and getting it out of your head, that's the therapeutic part about journaling. And so don't get caught up in what other people think or what you may think other people think. Your art is beautiful if you believe it is beautiful. So there you go. That's my soapbox for today. Okay, so I'm just going through adding some more stickers. And this time I'm looking for, so I did stickers to represent my garden. Now I'm using some stickers to represent the donuts. So there's a donut place that we go to. It's actually it's in North Kansas City. So it's quite a little drive for us. And we love this place. Love, 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 love this place. So the other day on Instagram, they posted that they were going to be having lemon donuts on July 1st. So this morning, my husband came in and said, I'm going to get donuts at 6:30 this morning. So he left, came back with a dozen donuts. So we got lemon donuts, and then we got 6 blueberry donuts, because if you're going to have lemon, you have to have blueberry. And oh my gosh, they were so good. So I want to document that. It's the little things in life, guys, and lemon donuts. That's a big thing for me. It may be a little thing to you, but that's a big thing to me. So I had some old stickers. I had some blueberry stickers, which I thought that was cool. I'm going to pull those out. And then I also knew I had some lemon scratch and sniff stickers, and I hadn't used those yet. So I put those on here. I put 3 of them on here. And so the last thing I want to represent with stickers is the moon being full. So I'm just kind of going through my stickers, looking to see if I can find anything. I see some of those puffy star stickers, and I think I got those at like Dollar Tree, so I'm going to use those. But then, of course, I have some of my total solar eclipse stamps, postage stamps left over. I never get tired of using those, so I'm going to pull that out, because anytime I have anything to do with the moon or space, I always try to use those stamps. That was an epic day. That was one of my favorite days in my whole life. I saw a commercial the other day, and it said, it started off, it says, what's the most amazing thing you've ever seen? And in my mind, the first thing I thought of was that total solar eclipse. That was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. It was just, oh my gosh, it was an unbelievable day. It was so fun. We were with my mom and my aunt and my stepdad, my daughter and her husband, and we were back in my hometown. We had the best place right down the street from where my mom lives, so we were within walking distance, and I just love it. So anytime I can pull out the solar eclipse memory and put it into another spread, I always do that, because, I don't know, it's just kind of cool. I like to hang on to stuff like that. Okay, I'm just adding some finishing touches here. Just kind of putting the date up there with this little stamp that says, hello, my status is, and then I wrote in summer, and that's just on a piece of wallpaper. And then I kind of clean it up, and I take a look at it, and I'm like, yep, this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to document these 3 things, and I needed to get some paint down and some fabric down, and I needed to get a little messy in my journal. And so this definitely cured my little itch here. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you got some good hints, tips, and tricks, and I hope you guys are healthy. I hope you guys are happy. Watch for a video tomorrow, Monday, July 2nd, with some new journals that I'm going to have available on Tuesday, July 3rd at about 7 p.m. I will be listing them in my Etsy shop. Guys, have a great rest of the day. Thank you. Bye.